The first method we are going to learn for finding the solution of a quadratic equation is factorization method. So what is a factorization method? You have already learned while using the quadratic polynomial and such things. So I'll just go on moving on with how I need to find out. So maybe I'll take x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0, or plus 6 is equal to 0. I'll take this is a better one. So maybe using the factorization method I'm going to find it out very easily. So the first step is I need to write what is the sum and what is the product, and I need to find two numbers for splitting the middle term. So first thing which we were doing to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial was to equate it to 0. That is already given in the question itself here. So if I take how do I find this is x square. So I need to split this middle term. Okay, I need to split this middle term. For splitting that middle term, the sum becomes minus 5. The sum is minus 5 and the product is 6. For such things, I need to get two numbers over here. Okay, so I need to get two numbers. For that, I need to prime factorize this 6. So 6 becomes 3 and 2. 3 into 2. While the sum is going to be negative and product is positive, that means that both of them have to be negative here. Both of the numbers are to be negative. So I need to find two numbers, either 6 into 1 or 1 into 3 into 2. Which is a better option, because it is going to be negative. That means that they are going to add up to be negative. So it is going to be minus 3 and minus 2. That is how I am going to split it off. So it is going to be x square minus 3x minus 2x plus 6 is equal to 0. So now I need to take something common outside, and then it should be very similar to this part also. So for that I need to do all this work and find out how to split this middle term. Otherwise somehow we can split, right? So now first of all I need to take x outside. So it comes to be x minus 3. Then you take minus 2 outside, such that you get x minus 3 again. So I'll write x minus 3 here. It is going to be 0. So now x minus 3 is common in both the terms. It is going to form x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, this much is the thing what you're going to get here. So the next step is equating both of them is equal to 0. That is x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 3 is equal to 0. So here you get x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 2 are the two numbers or the solutions for the given quadratic equation. So this much is all about what is a factorization method. So first of all we need to know what is the solution of the quadratic equation. Okay, if you consider a quadratic equation which is of the form ax square plus bx plus c, if it is ax square plus bx plus c, and if I consider alpha is the solution, or I can also call it to be a root of the equation. Okay, while you consider the polynomial, it was the zeros of the polynomial. Here you are considering either root or the solution of the equation. So if this is an alpha something, so for a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, if alpha is the solution of this, that means that alpha square plus a alpha square plus b alpha plus c is equal to 0. Or what do I mean by what is the solution is, if I substitute the value of alpha in place of x, I need to get left hand side is equal to right hand side, or I need to get this expression is equal to 0. That is the meaning of the root of that equation. Okay, so somehow this was based on our previous that is the polynomials itself. That's how I taught how to form the factors, just by taking the splitting the middle term based on that sum, product and such things. Okay, for that it was very simple. So we knew also the forming of equation. So the exercise 4.2 is all about factorization method of some of them, and some of them about forming the equation and then solving using this factorization method. Okay, now we have our exercise 4.2, right? 4.1 only. 4.2, you have the first question. You are just asked to solve this this is a quadratic, right? A quadratic equation based on the factorization method. That was the only thing we learned now. So first of all, we need to know whether it is the sum and the product. So the sum should be minus 3 and the product should be minus 10. So just by observing, if the sum is negative and the product is also negative, you can find out that there are two numbers which are, one is positive and one is negative. One is positive and one is negative. So product means I need to do the prime factorization of that. 10 is equal to 5 and into 2. Therefore, one of them should be negative, one of them should be positive. When the sum is negative, minus 5 becomes negative. So it is minus 5 and 2 remains to be positive. So that's how I need to split it off. So it's going to be x square plus 2x minus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. Or I can write x into x plus 2 minus 5 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 5 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to 5. Okay, then x plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to minus 2. So 5 and minus 2 are going to be the answers for this thing. So one more thing you can make out, that if the coefficient of x is going to be 1 itself and you find these two numbers, so directly you can write this as the factors, right? So since only coefficient of x square is 1 and you found out these two numbers, you need not write these two steps. Directly you might jump to here rather than going on doing that and all. So that will take a longer time. So if x square has coefficient 1, this will work out. It is not going to work out here directly because it is going to have a coefficient of x square is 2. Okay, first of all, again here you are going to find the sum. Sum is how much, product is how much, and what are the two numbers. Sum is 1 because it is the coefficient of this. So we need to think about ax square plus bx plus c. So AC is the product, and B stands for the sum. Okay, always think about that. AC is the product and B stands for the sum. Since it was 1 here, I just took this number and directly used it up over there. Okay, so the sum here was 1 and the product is minus 12. Okay, since 1 is positive and 1 is negative, that is product is negative, means 1 is positive and 1 is negative here. 1 is positive and 1 is negative, and the positive one is greater because the sum is positive. So it should have only one difference. Therefore I can write the prime factorization of that is equal to 2 into 2 into 3, but we need only two of them. Either it can be 6 into 2 or 4 into 3. Okay, if it is 6 into 2, the difference between the two numbers comes to be 4. Where you want the sum or the difference, when you consider 1 is positive, 1 is negative, you get the difference, right? So the difference is going to be 4 when it is 6 into 2. Therefore you cannot take that 6 into 2, and however you have to take 3 and 4. So which have to take 4, which is 3. 4 should be positive in order to get the sum 1. Therefore 3 should be negative. So I can write 2x square plus 4x minus 3x minus 6 is equal to 0. Or I'll take 2x common. If I take 2x common, I get x plus 2 minus 3 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. So 2x minus 3 into x plus 2 is equal to 0, or 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, x plus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to 3 by 2. X is equal to 3 by 2, x is equal to minus 2 are going to be the solutions of this quadratic equation. Okay, next we'll move on to the third subdivision. The third subdivision, there is some more root 2 that is coming over there. Oh, some root 2. Okay, let it be whatever. We get the sum and the product. Sum is going to be 7 and the product is going to be 5 root 2 into root 2. That is going to be 10. So product is 10. So how should I divide those two things? So first of all, I need to take the prime factorization. Since the sum is going to be positive, both are positive, and the product is also positive, right? Therefore both the numbers are going to be positive. So it is positive and positive something. So first of all, I can write 10 as 5 into 2. That is the only prime factorization that is possible, because 5 and 2 both are primes. So this has to be 5 and 2. Okay, so this is going to be root 2x square plus 2x plus 5x plus 5 root 2 is equal to 0. Okay, I'll take root 2x common, then x remains, then you have x plus root 2, because if you take root 2 outside here, 2 by root 2 is remaining. 2 by root 2 stands for root 2. Therefore, it's going to be x plus root 2. Then you have 5 is common. Then you get x plus root 2 is equal to 0. Okay. So this is going to be x plus root 2, that is common. Then you have root 2x plus 5, that is remaining. Root 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So x plus root 2 is equal to 0, and root 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to minus root 2 is one thing, and if you take this, it becomes minus 5 on the right hand side. So x is going to be minus 5 by root 2. Minus 5 by root 2 and minus root 2 are going to be the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, fourth question, I think it is similar to the fifth question, so I am going to do the fifth question only. So first of all, you can find out from this. I need not use the factorization method first of all, so because it is going to be, it is of the form a square minus 2ab plus b square form, where a is equal to 10x and b is equal to 1. Okay, if you just find a minus b whole square for corresponding to this, you will find out that you are going to get this expression. So this, I can directly write this to be 10x minus 1 whole square is equal to 0. Okay, I'll write and show. It is going to be 100x square, that's a square term, then minus 2 into 10 into 1 into x. Okay, plus 1. So it is going to be 100x square minus 20x plus 1. That is the thing. So since it is going to be having square, that means that both the roots are going to be equal. So every quadratic equation has two roots. Here you can find out that both the roots are going to be equal. Therefore I can write 10x minus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 1 by 10. Therefore 1 by 10 and 1 by 10 are the roots. Okay. These correspond to the equal real roots. When we consider about discriminant and all, we are going to learn about that in the last part. So here we can find that this is going to be perfect square. This polynomial is going to be a perfect square. Therefore, when you get the equation, you are going to get both the roots are going to be equal. Okay. Now we have your remaining questions. The remaining questions are statement problems. We're just going to see how it is. Okay, the next question is the second question. Here it is given, you are asked to solve all the equations that are given in the example 1. Example 1, you have the answers up to the forming of the equation, and equation is already ready over there. Just solve it based on that. Okay, so now we have a third question. The third question is find two numbers whose sum is 27 and the product is 182. Sum is 27 and product is 182. Okay, we are not going to use our method. We need to use the quadratic method and all, quadratic equation and all need to form. So let a number be x. Then the other number, what do you know about the other number? If one number is x, then the other number, maybe I can call it as some y. So x plus y is equal to 27. So what is y is equal to 27 minus x, right? So the other number is 27 minus x, I can write. So many of the questions come like this only in this quadratic equation chapter. So we need to know how to use that the sum is given. So the next part is product. Product is x into 27 minus x. X into 27 minus x is given to be 182. So the remaining part is minus x square plus 27x minus 182 is equal to 0. The remaining part is again 1 minus, so that is becoming problematic. I can write it to be like this. Okay, this much we got. This is the quadratic equation that is formed. The remaining part is factorization method. For that I need the factors of 182. That is the better one, because we need, again you are getting the sum is minus 27, the product is 182. Okay, we are going to use the same thing, but still we are showing so many steps away. That's it. Okay, so we need to get two numbers. So for that we'll use the prime factorization of 182. So however, we can find out that it is going to be divisible by 7, right? Is it divisible by 7? Yes, it has to be divisible by 7. So we'll see whether it's properly divisible by 7. So it is going to be 14 at first. So it is 2 remaining. And you have 4 remaining here. It is going to be 42. Therefore it is 6 times. Okay. Now 2 is there. So for 13. So 182 can be written as 14 into 13. That must be found out. Since the product is positive and the sum is negative, I can write both of them to be negative. And since the coefficient of x is going to be 1, I can directly write that x minus 14 into x minus 13 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 14 and 13 are going to be the answers. When you equate both of them, you are going to get x equal to 13 and x equal to 14. Therefore, the two numbers are 13 and 14. Okay, because when you find out, when you take x to be 14, you will get 27 minus x as 13. Okay, when you take x to be 13, you get 27 minus x as 14. Therefore, those two are the only numbers that are possible over there. Okay, that's it for the third question. We'll move on to the fourth question. Fourth question is similar to this one only. So the given is, find two consecutive positive integers, sum of whose square is 365. Sum is given to be 365. I'll just write down here. So it is given two consecutive positive integers. So we need to consider, let one of the numbers be x. Okay. Therefore, since it is consecutive, I can tell that the second number is going to be x plus 1. Second number is x plus 1. Okay, it is given the sum of the squares of those two are going to be 365. So I have to write x square plus x plus 1 whole square is equal to 365. Okay, I'll expand this. You'll get x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 365. So you get 2x square plus 2x minus 364 is equal to 0, or x square plus x minus 182 is equal to 0. Okay, so we did the prime factorization of 182 where we got 14 into 13. Here we took both to be negative because the sum was also negative but the product was positive, therefore both had to be negative. So when it comes this case, sum is positive, sum is 1 and the product is minus 182. Therefore one of them is positive and one of them is negative. Okay, so which one should be negative is the smaller one because the sum is positive. Therefore it is minus 13 and plus 14 what you are going to get. So it is going to be x minus 13 into x plus 14 is equal to 0. X minus 13 is equal to 0. X plus 14 is equal to 0. X is equal to 13 and x is equal to minus 14. Okay, we got two numbers over here. Which of these is the required solution over here? We are getting two things. Then in the question you can see that it is given two consecutive positive integers. So can you consider this to be a positive integer? No, it is not a positive integer. That's why I am ruling out this x and the only number you got is 13. Therefore 13 and 14 are the two numbers, two consecutive numbers that they are required over there. Okay, next we'll move on to the fifth question now. Now we have your fifth question. Here you can see your question. The question says the altitude of a right angle triangle is 7 centimeter less than its base. Okay, let the hypotenuse is 13 centimeter. It's given. You are asked to find the other two sides, that is the altitude as well as the base. So first of all, we'll draw the right angle triangle. So this is the base and this is the altitude. The hypotenuse given, it is 13 centimeter. Okay, therefore let the altitude, I'll consider, let the altitude be x centimeters. X centimeters. So this is x. Since altitude is 7 centimeter less than the base, therefore base is 7 centimeter more than the altitude. Therefore I can write it to be x plus 7. Okay. So using by Pythagoras theorem That is the only thing when we know when it comes to the right angle triangle. Pythagoras theorem or Pythagoras property, what you call theorem. This theorem will prove in the chapter 6 triangles using one more property. Okay, now we'll see what is the Pythagoras theorem. So it comes to be x square plus x plus 7 whole square is equal to 13 square. I'll expand this. You'll get x square plus 14x plus 49 is equal to 169. This much we are going to get here. Okay, now we are going to add all these things. So this is going to be x square plus 14x plus 169 minus 49 is going to be 120. So when you bring it to the left hand side, it is going to be negative. Therefore, it is going to be 120. That is going to be equal to 0. So you find out that it is going to be x square plus 14x minus 120 is equal to 0. So now we want to find two numbers whose sum is 14 and product is minus 120. Since the product is negative, one should be positive and one should be negative. So 120, if I prime factorize, I can write it to be 12 into 10. 12 into 10 is same as 2 into 2 into 3 into 2 into 5. Okay, we need two numbers whose sum has to be, no, it is 2x square, right? We cannot write like that. So you have x square plus 7x minus 60 is equal to 0. Okay, that's how it changes to. So both of them become half of those things. So it is going to be product is minus 60, sum is 7. So 60, if you prime factors, I can write it as 3 into 2 into 5. 3 into 2 into 5 I can write. Right? 3 into 2 into, oh, one more 2 is there. 5 into 2, 3 into 2. So now we need to do something. So such that we need the sum to be 7 and the product to be minus 60. One should be positive, one should be negative. Same case. Okay, now which are the two numbers that we need to select? Okay, so we need to take 5 as one number and the other one is 2 into 2 into 3. That is going to be 12. Okay, one is 12 and one is 5. So in such a manner you are going to get. So you need to split that term based on that. Or since the coefficient of x is 1, I can directly write that it's x plus 12 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 12 from this case. If I equate x plus 12 is equal to 0, you are going to get x is equal to minus 12. And from this case I can write x minus 5 is equal to 0 or x is equal to 5. Okay, because we are considering the side or the length of something, so I cannot consider a negative length. How can a negative length exist? So always we can think only about a positive length. Therefore x is equal to 5 and then you have x plus 7. X plus 7 is the altitude, not altitude, base. Base is to be x plus 7, that is 12 centimeter. Therefore the length of the altitude is 5 centimeter and the length of the base is going to be 12 centimeter in such a manner. Okay, moving on to the sixth question. Okay, next we have our sixth question. Sixth question is a pretty long question. We need to be careful while reading the question. So we'll read the question. So the question given here is, a cottage industry produces certain number of pottery articles in a day. Okay, that's just a general statement. So the next statement is, it was observed on a particular day that the cost of production of each article in rupees was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. Okay, we'll read the sentence one more. The cost of production of each article was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced that day. If the total cost of production on a particular day was rupees 90, find the number of articles produced and the cost of each particle. Okay, so we need to consider, let x be the number of articles produced. We found the number of articles produced. So it is given that the number of the cost of production is going to be rupees. It is going to be rupees 2x plus 3 because it is 3 more than twice the number of articles produced per day. So now we are going to consider what is this? Yeah, total cost of production of all the number of particles. Cost of production for one article, right? For one article is going to be like this. So if I consider total amount of production given is total is going to be rupees 90. Okay, so for that I need to multiply the number of articles with the production of each particle. Therefore it is going to be x into 2x plus 3 is equal to 90, or I can write 2x square plus 3x minus 90 is equal to 0. The remaining part is found in the sum and the product. If the sum is 3 and the product is minus 90 into 2, that is minus 180. Okay, prime factorization of 180 tells me that it is going to be 9 into 20. So if I write the prime factorization, it is going to be 3 into 3 into 2 into 2 into 5. Okay, we need some two numbers, one is positive and one is negative. So I need to take, maybe I'll take 12, or yeah, this forms 12, right? And this forms 15. So it is going to be plus 15 and minus 12. So this is going to be 2x square minus 12x plus 15x minus 90 is equal to 0. Or I can write 2x into x minus 6 plus 15 into x minus 6 is equal to 0. Or 2x plus 15 into x minus 6 is equal to 0. This comes to be 2x plus 15 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 15 by 2. This cannot be considered because the number of articles cannot be negative. Then you have x minus 6 is equal to 0. Therefore you get x is equal to 6. Therefore the number of articles comes to be 6. So cost of the production. We are asked to find the cost of the production. Therefore the cost is going to be rupees of 2 into 6 plus 3. 2 into 6 is 12. 12 plus 3. 12 plus 3 is going to be 15. Therefore the cost of production of one article is going to be 15. So the total production was going to be rupees 90. Okay, thank you. In the next class we are going to learn about the other two methods, that is the completing the square method and the quadratic formula, and also about the discriminant.